Hi, Caspar on the 10th of July 2021, and we're going to a party later. I've just popped a large bottle of red wine. It's a friend's 60th birthday party, so I thought I'd take this along. It's going to be a barbecue, just about stopped raining outside. So this is 2010 Brunello de Montalcino from La Rasina. La Rasina in the far north of the Montalcino commune. Wines are quite different up there to those of the south. Well, let's have a look at it and we'll find out. So I looked on the back of the bottle and I winced slightly when I saw 14.5% alcohol, so it's quite a punchy being. 2010 really the vintage that catapulted the wines of Montalcino into the big time, really attracted the focus of wine consumers and collectors from all around the world. So this is a sort of watershed moment. It's got some maturity to the colour. It's sort of ruby, but it's garnet, sort of fading to mahogany at the rim. Gosh, there's masses going on the nose. It's settled down a bit from when I first opened it. It was just a bit spiny and spiky and prickly when I first opened it. It's relaxed a bit. So what do we got? And it's a rich, warm nose. It's almost sort of liqueur-like levels of ripeness. It's got a faint jamminess to it. But what else have we got? There's masses of ripe cherry fruit coming off, red and black. There's a high-toned element as well. It's really interesting, lots and lots of spice, and that's something that's very typical of that northern sector, which is a sort of a herbal note, which is sort of like a bit like bay leaf. Quite distinct, a bit of smokiness, and then plum, but even a bit of bramble, which is less pronounced than it was when I first opened it. Sort of savoury, perhaps a hint of the wood of oak about it, maybe a little bit of hint of chocolate. Mm. Oh gosh, that's still a baby. Masses of really quite tacky, incisive tannins to it, which are fine enough, and I suspect from their texture that some of them come from the wood of the barrels in which this was aged. It leaves a slight woodiness across the tongue. Having smelt it, you sort of expect it to be rather sort of jammy and like a sort of hot climate Grenache, but actually it's got really quite rather nice focus to it. There's a bit of warmth from the alcohol, you can feel when you swallow it here, but nice length and quite an expressive sort of mineral quality within. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I've opened that. That's going to breathe for another 5 or 6 hours, and I'm rather glad about that. It's tightened. It was very forward when I first opened it, and it sort of really tightened up initially with that bit of air. So I'm hoping it'll relax again as more air gets into it. It's an assertive wine, you know. It's a big wine, and 2010 produced these highly structured Brunellos that really need a fair bit of cellaring, but that's a big one and perfect for a barbecue, I would imagine, especially as we'll be outside, and consideration to it being 14.5%, we'll all have somewhere soft to land, cushioned by the grass on the lawn. But there we go. That's been 2010 Brunello de Montalcino La Rasina. it's a big mouthful, but pretty impressive stuff.